So here I'm going to talk about responder strategy. So bidding as responder after partner opens at the 1 level. If they open 1 club, 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade. If they open 1 no trump, it's a different sort of thing to do responding. I've already created a responding to 1 no trump session. So here, there's not a lot that varies between them, but I'll just talk about what your options are and a few different styles of bidding. So the very common way of responding is you can bid with 6 or more points. You must bid. Now any suit responder bids shows 4 cards, except in a very few amount of situations. So firstly, if we respond 1 diamond, heart, or spade, these all just show 4 or more cards in the suit and 6 or more points. If we respond 1 no trump, some people do a bit different over a club and might have this a bit stronger, but I just play this as 6 to 10 points and I don't have any suit that I want to show you. So if you didn't want to bid a diamond, a heart, or a spade, which would be 4 card suits, this would typically show a 3, 3, 3, 4 handshake. Now, I sometimes deviate from this a little bit, and I'll talk about that at a later stage. But any suit you bid will show at least 4 card support, 4 cards in that suit and 6 or more points. So this is what you can do by bidding a new suit. As responder, there's sort of 3 separate things that you can typically do, which is you can bid a new suit, you can support partner, or you can bid no trumps. Now, anytime you bid a new suit, there's no upper limit on your point range. So here I said 6 or more points. So you could have 20 points, you could have anything, and you still just respond at the 1 level because all your bids are 6 or more points. So we've got the bids of 2 of new suits and 3 of new suits and things like that. Now, I haven't given a description of what they are. I like to use them for conventional bids, and we'll assign meanings to them at a later stage. But for now, we don't use them. You don't jump to show extra points. You don't jump to show extra length. You just keep the bidding at a low level if you're bidding a new suit. So you can bid 1 diamond, 1 heart, or 1 spade to show 6 or more points and 4 or more in the suit. So very broad definition there, and we try and bring it in later. So that's bidding new suits at the 1 level, responding to a club. If you're going to support your partner, what you can do is you can raise their suit. You can bid 2 clubs, you could bid 3 clubs, you could bid 4 clubs, you could bid 5 clubs, that sort of stuff. Now, supporting partner in a minor is pretty interesting because of what you want to do. If you've got a fit for partner, which means 8 cards between the 2 hands, you can support them and raise their suit. Now, whenever you do this, you are putting a point range on it. Unlike bidding a new suit, there is an absolute maximum on this. So if you just bid at the lowest level, this will just show partner, I have a minimum responding hand. So I've got 6 to 9 points. If instead that you jump to 3 clubs, this would now show extra points, 10 to 12 points with a fit. Now this is just the standard way of doing it. Some people play conventions such as inverted minors or other descriptions. But if you don't play any conventions, this is what this would typically show. If you've been playing for a while or a bit experienced, you might try out some of these conventions, and I've got some other lessons on that. But for now, I'll just talk about basic bidding. So jumping to 3 clubs is 10 to 12, bidding at 2 clubs is 6 to 9. Now if you've got enough points for games, such as 13 to 15, in a minor, the game we most likely want to play is 3 no trumps. So instead of bidding 4 clubs, what you can do is just jump to 3 no trumps. Ignore the fact that you've got a fit, but just bid 3 no trumps. Okay, so they're basically your options of responding over one club. Now I'll jump ahead and talk about one heart, because I think one heart's a bit more interesting. Okay, so now we're talking about a major. So unlike a minor, responding to one heart, here partner opens one heart. They're promising a 5-card suit, so we only need 3 to support them, but I'll get back to that. Here, you've only got one suit you can bid at the 1 level, which is spades. If you wanted to bid clubs or diamonds, you now have to bid them at the 2 level. So here, you can bid 1 spade at the 1 level, and this will just show 4-card support and 6+ points. But you can't bid clubs or diamonds at the 1 level. Now, if you want to bid a new suit at the 2 level, such as 2 clubs or 2 diamonds, what these actually show are 10 or more points, and still at least 4 cards in the suit. So Responder's just showing 4 card suits, and you've got 10 or more points. So if you've got 6 to 9 points, and you wanted to bid clubs or diamonds, you can't actually do that. So instead you respond 1 no trump. Now as responder, if you bid 1 no trump, this does not promise a balanced hand. When opener bids no trumps, they're the ones that are trying to show that they've got balanced hands. When responder bids no trumps, they're usually just showing their point range, sort of 6 to 9 points or 10 to 12, depends on what no trump range they actually bid. So if they bid 1 no trump, they're just showing 6 to 9 points. They could have 8 clubs. They haven't promised a balanced hand. Now again, if you wanted to support your partner, the way you do this is if you bid hearts, you are putting a point range on it. So as I said before, bidding new suits don't. So 1 spade, 6 or more points with 4 spades. Bidding 2 clubs, 10 or more points with at least 4 clubs. They could both have, say, 20 points in them, and you can still bid this way. Whereas if you support partner, you are showing your point range. So here, if you bid 2 hearts, you're showing partner you're a minimum responder, and that would be 6 to 9 points. If you bid 3 hearts, if you haven't got any conventions around, you're just playing the limit raises, this will show 10 to 12 points with a fit. And if you jump to 4 hearts, you might play this as 13 to 15 with a fit. Now, I recommend learning a major suit raise structure that's different to this, but the basic principle is when you support partner, if you bid it at the lowest level, you've got 6 to 9. If you jump a level, you've got 10 to 12. And if you jump 2 levels, you've got 13 to 15. If you're stronger than that, you're starting to head towards slam territory. And what I tend to do is just make up a suit and then try and show the fit later. But as I said before, having a system of better major suit raises, I think is a good spot to play a convention. Now there's a few going around. Common one is Bergen raises. Other one are no trump raises. There's a few others out there, but I'd suggest picking up a major suit raise convention because there's better uses for different bids there. Now again, I haven't given a meaning to jumping to 2 spades or 3 clubs or 3 diamonds. If you play a convention, they might make use of these sorts of bids. Also, I haven't described what a 2 no trump bid is. Again, this is usually a conventional bid. Okay, so here over hearts, your choices of raising partner, bidding no trumps, or bidding a new suit. Anytime you bid no trumps or bid a suit that's already been bid, you put a point range on your hand. And as responder, if you just bid it at the lowest level, it's 6 to 9. You jump a level, it's 10 to 12. You jump 2 levels, it's 13 to 15. If you just bid a new suit, you haven't put an upper limit on your hand. You might have increased the lower level, such as if you bid 2 clubs, it's now 10 or more points. And if you just bid 1 spade, it's 6 or more points. So there's some things about responding to a heart. Now, responding to a diamond and a spade have very similar principles to the other two. If you bid new suits at the 2 level, you need 10 or more points. You bid them at the 1 level, you need 6 or more points. One thing that most people don't realize is this auction is slightly interesting. This is one of the ones where Responder actually shows a 5-card suit. 1 spade past 2 hearts. Now, as Responder, what you're trying to do is if you've got your longest suit, you want to try and bid that if you can. If you've got a 5-card heart suit and a 4-card diamond suit, you want to bid your hearts first, so whichever one you can do. If you've only got 2 4-card suits though, you want to bid the cheaper one. So if you had 4 hearts and 4 clubs, you would bid 2 clubs. If you had 4 hearts and 4 diamonds, you would bid 2 diamonds. So here, if you think that when you bid 2 hearts, you're usually denying a fit and spades, so you've got only 2 spades, typically, then if hearts was only a 4-card suit, that would give you 7 other cards. Now, if you had 7 other cards to divide into the minors, one of them would also have to be a 4-card suit, which would have meant that you would have had a cheaper 4-card suit that you could have bid. So this is actually an impossible auction to actually only have a 4-card suit as Responder, and by that inference, it is now a 5-card suit. So a spade past 2 hearts should be a 5-card heart suit, and a heart past 2 diamonds, based on the same logic, should be a 5-card diamond suit. Just bidding the one suit below opener's suit typically shows a 5-card suit, because otherwise you might have been able to bid a cheaper 4-card suit. So it's just based on the premise that if you had 2 4-card suits, you'd bid the cheapest one, but if you have a longer suit, you'll always bid your longest one first. Okay, so there are a couple of simple ways of responding. Now I'll give you a little bit of competitive bidding. So if your partner opens and the next hand overcalls 1 heart, so you're now the responder and the opponents have overcalled 1 heart. Anytime the opponents overcall 1 major after your partner opens a minor, double just shows 4 cards in the other major. So here, double says, partner, I have 4 spades. If you bid the other suit, such as in here, it shows partner that you've got 5. So we can use a little bit of science here to show an extra spade a bit earlier. If on the other hand, they overcall a spade, double here shows 4 cards in the other major. So you've got at least 4 hearts here. But because if you wanted to bid hearts, you now have to bid 2 hearts, this would be 10 or more points with 5 hearts. There's the hands that have 6 to 9 points and more than 4 hearts, which can't bid 2 hearts here. So a 2-heart bid is 10 or more points with 5 or more hearts, whereas a double says, partner, I have 4 hearts and any range of points, or otherwise I've got 5 or more hearts and a weak hand. So if the only hands that would have more than 4 hearts are in the 6 to 9 point range. So when your partner opens, the next hand overcalls a major. Double by Responder just says I've got 4 cards in the other major. Doesn't say anything about the other suits. It's a negative double. If on the other hand the opponents overcall 1 diamond, double here shows both majors. Okay, at least 4-4. If you only had 1 major, you could bid it. So over this, you could bid 1 heart or 1 spade with just a 4-card suit. It doesn't promise longer than that. You can just have 4 hearts or just have 4 spades. That's fine. But if you do double, it says, partner, I have both majors. Now, some people play this as at least 4-4 and could have any description of 5 hearts and 4 spades or 6 hearts or anything like that. I personally like this to be exactly 4-4 in the majors. Okay. If you just double to show exactly 4-4 in the majors, you don't ever lose your 5th suit card in the suit or anything like that. And I think it's quite effective if you get preempted by your partner knowing for sure that you've got 4-4 in the majors. So that's what I like responders double to be. So now we've covered responding to opening bids at the 1 level, also what happens when they intervene with an overcall. If they intervene with a double, you just largely ignore it and bid just the same way. All your bids are exactly the same. But you do have one extra bid here available to you, which is a redouble. Okay. Redouble here should just be, partner, I've got 10 or more points, and typically you're denying a fit. Not guaranteeing it, but you're saying, partner, I'm possibly interested in penalizing the opponents. So redouble, I've got 10 or more points, I don't have a fit. They might have just stumbled into some trouble. So that's what a redouble is there. One other thing that changes when they overcall a suit is that you no longer have to bid with 6 points anymore. The reason we respond with 6 points is partner might have a really strong hand and we've got enough points for game. But just because East overcalled, your partner will get another opportunity to bid. So if they've got the really strong hand, they will get their other opportunity to bid and you'll be able to still find game. So here, if you bid over this, you're showing a real hand. If you bid a no trump, you're guaranteeing a stopper in hearts. If you've just got a nondescript hand without spades and without a stopper in hearts and without a fit and sort of 6 to 9 points, you can pass with these hands now. You're no longer forced to bid because your partner has their other opportunity to bid. So that's a little bit about responder strategy to opening hands. The final thing I was going to cover is a little thing about style, which is, do you bid 4 card suits up the line or do you prefer a certain suit? So if you've got 4 diamonds and 4 hearts, which one do you respond? And so forth. If you ever have a longer suit, you want to bid your longest suit first, typically. And if you've got 4 diamonds and 4 hearts, the standard way is just to bid the cheapest one first. So you'd bid 1 diamond, and if partner had hearts, they could bid 1 heart or something like this. This is the standard way of responding. There's something else called Walsh style, which I'll just briefly talk about, which I kind of like, which is, if partner has this sort of option, it would promise an unbalanced hand. If they had a balanced hand, they have to bid no trumps. They can bypass a 4 card major. This is a thing called Walsh style, not just standard. So I like this opener to rebid 1 no trump with a balanced hand. So what I do also, if you play Walsh style, if you are less than a game forcing hand, you can bypass your diamonds and give preference to your major first, just to minimize the risk that you miss a major suit fit in this sort of auction. If you're a game forcing hand, go ahead and bid your diamonds, especially if they're longer. But that's just a brief talk about Walsh style. Something to discuss with your partner if you just play standard or play Walsh style. Anyway, hope this clears up some stuff on responding to opening bids. Thanks for watching.